It is now bonus question time here in Hockey Inside Out. Cole Caufield, what does the future hold for him on contract negotiations? Will it be a bridge deal or long-term deal? This past week, Matthew Boldy, 2019 draft class, signed a 7-year deal, $49 million with the Minnesota Wild. His stats so far, 27 goals, 41 assists. Gentlemen, how did they approach this Cole Caufield negotiation as we move towards spring into the summer months?
Well, I think the first person involved will be Nick Suzuki by saying to Cole, listen, you can't make more than I make. And, put the pressure on him to say, listen, we'll continue to be working with you. But, the reality is, he's going to get his contract of Nick making the 7.8. Cole Caufield, bona fide sniper, he's got all the makings to be a great player for a long time. I don't know whether his agent and himself are going to be looking for a little bit more money than what Nick Suzuki is making, just because he is that type of goal scorer that he is. It remains to be seen. But one thing is consistent, that we know Cole Caufield loves Montreal. He loves everything associated with it. The management's going to do everything they can to get this thing done and put behind them with no choice, because they don't really have any type of player that I've seen that's going to fill that goal scoring role like Cole Caufield. So as far as, term, he'll get his long-term deal, and maybe he'll last for a little bit more money than Nick. But one thing for sure, it's a win-win situation for both Cole and the organization.
Yeah, I think the best case scenario for the Canadiens is that Nick Suzuki could have some pull on there, and that his contract will hold Caufield's contract down a little bit. A similar situation to like the Boston Bruins, right? Where when they were negotiating with Brad Marchand, they're like, wow, look at what Patrice Bergeron, he took a discount, so maybe you got to take a discount. And if you can get that culture buying in, and I'm sure agents will hate hearing anything about that, and same with the NHLPA, that's great for the team. But I would be a little bit shocked at this stage if Cole Caufield's contract doesn't start with at least an 8. He 48 goals in 82 games under Marty St. Louis. You're a hair shy of 50 at 21 years old. I don't know. This kid, he's just such a phenom when it comes to the puck on his stick. I loathe the idea of a bridge deal, and I think Kent Hughes does as well. I look at maybe a Jason Robertson type situation. I know they have the same agent, him and Cole Caufield, that maybe they will push for a bridge deal, but just based on what Cole Caufield seems to be like and how much he enjoys being a Montreal Canadien, I expect this to be an 8-year deal for as much as they can afford to give him and as little as he's willing to take. They're going to find a happy medium somewhere, but don't be surprised if there's a bit of a sticker shock on the deal.
Yeah, well, Mo, you made a good comparison. The Matt Boldy contract's a good comparison. 7 years, $49 million, $7 million, just under what Nick Suzuki makes. I mean, it was Marc Bergevin who signed Suzuki to that contract. I'm sure Kent Hughes would like to hold that as like nobody's going to make more than Nick, but he didn't give Nick that contract, so he can go above that if he has to, if he feels that's what it's going to take to keep Cole Caufield. I mean, we spoke about PK Subban during our main show. Cole Caufield is the closest thing to PK Subban the Canadiens and their fans have seen since PK Subban left town. People love this kid. He loves being in Montreal. That smile. I've watched him interact with fans, and he's so good at it. He's so polite. He has time for people. He's great with kids. I think about when they brought the young boy in the wheelchair into the Canadiens locker room who was dying from cancer, and Cole spent like 5 minutes with the kid laughing, made the kid laugh, and said, I'm going to score a goal for you, and he did. He has a gift with people. People love him. His teammates love him. He's always happy. He's bouncing around. He's the same way with fans. He's so good. He's so important to the Canadiens moving forward. Canadiens, I would love to lock him up, I'm sure. I mean, if they get an 8-year contract at $7 million a year, that would almost be perfect, a little less than Suzuki. But Cole might want to, mention PK. Cole might want to take a PK page and bet on himself and sign a bridge deal, figuring that, if the salary cap's up, maybe in 3 years or 2 years, you'll get in more than that. So it'll be interesting to see. The other side of that, of course, if you're it's 21 or 22 Cole Caufield and you're offered, let's say, $50 million guaranteed, it's a lot of money to give up. I mean, as we've seen this season with injuries happen in the league, and it's a lot of money to turn down if it's guaranteed. So it's really going to be interesting to see what happens moving forward with this. I think the Canadiens will sign him. I think they will sign him to a long-term deal. It's just a question of how much, if it's a 7 or an 8 at the front of that annual salary cap hit.
Going to bring up this point, guys. You mentioned the bridge deal here, and Stu, you mentioned the cap going up here. Don't forget the Canadian TV contract is going to be expiring in 3-4 years, and the cap will move up, and they have a new retail deal that will come out at some point that should be announced in the coming year or so, give or take. If you're the Cole Caufield camp, do you push for that bridge to say, let's take a little bit less now and then cash in when we know the cap's going to move up because of the TV and the merchandise deals coming up in the next few years?
I think it's more up to Cole than anything. I mean, as I mentioned, $49 million. If you make, I've never had to deal with that kind of money, but if you make $49 million or you make $56 million, does your life really change that much? Probably not. Maybe I'm totally wrong. I've never had to deal with that kind of money. But I remember speaking with the father of an NHL player when his son was negotiating his contract. And it was like $36 million over 6 or 4. And he says, I hung up the phone. I was like, it's like monopoly money. Like I hung up the phone. Like, oh my God, my kid's going to make $40 million. So it's it might be a little bit of that also with Cole and with his family also. If I was Cole and I was advising Cole and I was offered an 8-year contract for a lot of money, I'd sign it. Just with the way he's a small kid too. I mean, the knock on wood, hopefully he never gets injured, but the odds of him getting hurt are higher than Slavkovsky, at his size. So if the Canadiens put a lot of money on the table in a long term, if I was advising Cole, I would say, you know what, you're going to be set for life. You're never going to worry about money again, and you love Montreal, you love playing here. So take the deal.
And I think, and his buddy Nick will have an input too, even though we say that it's not a big thing, but it's his buddy. He knows that they have success together, et cetera, et cetera. So just get it done. Cole doesn't seem like the personality that's going to be a greedy guy. He'll be taken care of. It's a non-issue. So get it done sooner than later.
Yeah, I think the Canadiens want to be fair with him too. I mean, I don't think it's going to be. I mean, it got ugly with PK. The negotiations with it got ugly with every negotiation with Marc Bergevin. It seemed with star players, especially the ones who wanted to stay in Montreal. But as I said, I think this will get worked out, and I think it'll be a long-term deal. And Cole and Nick are also really good friends off the ice. I mean, they're together all the time. You see them arriving at the rink together. They're always together. They're really good friends, and it's an opportunity for them to be together in Montreal for the next 7-8 years.
Well, one thing for sure can happen. Whenever Cole Caufield signs that deal, that dinner tab will be on his credit card at some point, whether it's now or maybe in the summertime. Don't forget to send us your questions and comments here on Hockey Inside Out. We look forward to conversing about that on a future episode. And check out the YouTube page for all of the episodes of Hockey Inside Out. And sign up for the newsletter, MontrealGazette.com/newsletters. And for the bonus content and full episodes, head on by Hockey Inside Out. On behalf of Rick, Andrew, and Stu, wish you a great week. We'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.